We're live. Good. Thanks for letting me know, Jake. Love you.
He caught me right at the second it went live.
All right, Lab Coat Agents, welcome back. This time we've got Randy and Brett. Brett Baker's from Colorado, and he's with us here. No, you're from Washington, okay?
From Washington, California, vacationing in Colorado.
There you go. I remember. And today we're going to be talking about nurturing your leads and really long-term nurture because, Randy's from Chime, obviously, and Brett uses Chime. I use Chime. So we're going to be showing you how to do this through the system, but more importantly, really the process and really the systems that we've put in place to be able to do that. And it just reminds me of really leveraging, right? And Randy, we're going to be talking about leverage as the new hustle in a few weeks. So this kind of leads right into that.
Yeah, no, it's a great precursor. So everyone who's watching today should definitely come to the webinar. I think, June 9th at 1 o'clock Eastern? Something along those lines.
And for those of you who don't know, Randy just got a haircut. Randy, congratulations.
Thank you.
Brett cut his own hair. Good job, Brett.
Thank you.
I wonder mine looks so much better.
It looks good, bro. It looks great.
Hey, I'm camera worthy. So if I'm I'm a 5-footer right now. So I'm 5 feet from the camera. That's all you need to see.
I don't know if you're far enough from the camera.
Yeah, I'll back up.
Just saying, dude. All right, guys, let's get this thing started. Brett, can you please let us know a little bit about who you are, what you do, and what makes you so knowledgeable in regards to nurturing?
Sure. So my background, we should probably give you a quick background on who I am, because a lot of people on this call are like, who is this guy? My background, I grew up in aviation. My parents have been in aviation. I grew up in real estate. My parents have been in real estate forever, tying in aviation in a minute. I did not want to follow in my dad's footsteps, so I went the aviation route. And so I was an air traffic controller at probably some of the busiest airports most of you have been to, LAX, Anchorage, Alaska, kind of all over the place. I ended up in a small town in eastern Washington, and I saw a couple of people in here from Spokane, go Zags, and I ended up south of there, so I was in Tri-Cities, and I was so bored, I decided to get my real estate license, and one thing led to another, and I ended up pretty much taking over Tri-Cities with real estate. And so I did this from a very strategic and very meaningful standpoint, where I took everything that I'd seen in the industry and I kind of took it and built it from scratch. And I built up these long-term follow-up campaigns, and I built up these ways to stay in front of people for a long time. And one thing led to another, and I grew it very, very large. And now my other half, she is no longer in this room with me, but I got to a point where I was able to retire out of the industry, and I got into coaching, and I found my niche, which is helping other people get their long-term follow-ups in place, get their marketing in place, and that's basically where I ended up. And so now she is running, like I said, she left the room, but she's running a very, very successful company up in Washington, and now starting in California as well. So there's my background.
I love it, man. I love that. All right, so let's get right into it. What's the most common misconception when it comes to follow-up? Because I feel like a lot of us fail at that.
Yeah. I'm sorry, you cut out there on me real fast. What was that?
Sorry. What's the most common misconception when it comes to follow-up, like the nurturing process? What is that?
Sure. I think everybody actually has the right idea. They have the mindset of, I am going to follow up these people for a long time. I want the speed to lead, and then I'm going to follow up with them. The problem where I see most people run into is they don't have a system in place. They don't have a way to actually be able to have a long-term follow-up, because here's what the industry has taught us. We need more leads. We need more leads. We need more leads. We need more leads. Well, great. When you get to a point where you have so many leads coming in, and we were getting, Randy, go back to my Chime site, 60, 70 leads a day? When you're getting that many leads, it's great when you follow up with that many for 3 weeks. But after so many days of 60 to 70 leads, you can't follow up with everybody. And so what I tell people is the biggest thing that you can do is have a strategic, systemized approach to follow up. so nobody falls through the gaps. And the big part of that, believe it or not, automation. Automation is actually, if you can automate something to seem very human, and you can automate something to assist you. This isn't replacing, it's assisting you in doing follow-up. It's going to make your job as an agent so much easier, because you're not going to be doing the stuff you don't like doing. You're going to be doing the stuff you do like doing. Not getting rejected versus getting in touch with someone and having a good time and helping them find a house. Does that make sense?
All right, that makes sense. Yeah, but where do we start? So now that we got that out of the way, and I agree with you 100%, it's automation all the way, because it helps you scale and it helps you be able to take care of your database in a good, healthy way.
Sure.
But when it comes to breaking it down and creating this, because this is where I think most agents have a challenge with, like, where do we start? How do we start with this automation? Do we create our own drips? Do we go to somebody like you? How do we start?
Sure.
If I may, real quick, Brett,
hit it.
just chime in here, because I think I know it's too perfect. It's too perfect. I can't.
That was terrible.
I can't not do it.
That was terrible.
But and Tristan and Brett, I think you would agree to address directly your question about the biggest misconception with long-term nurture. It's that the templates are the answer. Every successful agent knows the templates are not the answer, right? I know you're a big fan, Tristan, of being authentic, right? And being you, and kind of and implementing your voice and your character and your personality into your messaging. So I think the biggest misconception is that a system that comes with the long-term nurture template is plug and play. And as much as we want that to be true, everyone so desperately wants to plug and play and then go back to doing the fun stuff. You have to invest the time and energy to take the templates as a framework and install your personality and your character and your tone, so that when you are genuinely following up with these people long term, the people that you had this conversation with are hearing your voice, they're hearing your tone, and they're understanding what you're saying in your long term follow-up messages, right? Because when you read an email from someone, you project that person's personality into that message, right? Like, when I know that I'm getting a message from Brett, it's probably going to be sarcastic. He's probably going to be pulling my leg to some degree. And because I know that's his personality, right? When I get it from Tristan, I know that Tristan comes from a big place of caring and giving. And I am hearing Tristan's voice. I'm hearing Brett's voice when I'm reading these messages. So your leads are going to be doing the same thing. So the biggest misconception is, don't be satisfied with the templates. Plug and play only goes so far. To maximize effectiveness, you need to make sure you're implementing your own authenticity into the messages.
To answer your question, Tristan, about how to start, because this is kind of something where I came into the industry pretty late in the career. I know a lot of people that they graduate high school and that's what they want to do. That wasn't the way that I came into it. I left a $250,000 a year job to do real estate. Like, I left a great job to do real estate, and that was very, very difficult to make that decision. But in the process, I knew that I had to evaluate. Okay, let's start with where. I had no idea where to start. I didn't have a mentor that was telling me, you need to do this. I was in a brand new area. I didn't know anybody at all in the area. I knew nobody. I had no sphere of influence. I had nothing. I had literally no book, as you would call it, a business. So what I did was I started the same way that I learned in air traffic how to work airplanes in air traffic. I did the same thing with real estate. I did what's called a runway out mindset. I started at okay, here are the people that I need to have my most attention on. And then I work out from there. Here are the people that I need the least attention with. So it's essentially in nursing, it's like triage. The guy with the broken arm doesn't get the same attention as the guy having a heart attack. So it's a triage mindset. It's the person who's closest to actually doing something, they're the most important to me. And everybody else, as we move out, becomes, I don't want to say less and less important, but they get less and less of my attention. And so I started with that mindset, and I built out I had a little spreadsheet that I had of, okay, Hot is 30 days or less. Warm is 31 to 60. Cold is 61 to 90. And anything over 90 days, they'll get some attention from me, but it's mostly going to be property drips. Then I took that mindset and I actually put that into play. And I said, okay, let's start with what is the end goal that I want? I want at the end goal, these people to do these steps to end up working with me. I want them to know who I am so that when we nurture people for 6 to 9 months, they know who I am and they know what I'm about, and I'm staying in front of them with something other than like a lemon meringue pie recipe. I have bought a lot of houses. Even before I got into real estate, I bought a lot of houses. And I knew the things that I really, really liked getting as a client. I thought of myself as a client and not a real estate agent. And I thought, okay, what do I want to get as a client? Okay, well, I'll tell you what I don't want. I don't want 10 days of pain. I don't want someone calling me so many times that I'm just like, dude, leave me alone. I wanted something that was a meaningful follow-up. So I implemented video pretty quickly. So my first response to people when they would register on my Chime site, they got a video. It wasn't an email. It was an email, but it was a video email of me. Hey, my name is Brett with the Baker team. I just wanted to reach out, let you know I'm a real person here looking out for your home search. If you need anything, reach out to me. Here's my phone number. You have my email address. You can respond here. But it was me getting in front of them, just like I'm getting in front of you right now. You learn my mannerisms. You learn that I look up to my right a lot. It's mannerisms that these go a long way for someone to know who you are. And what gets crazy about that is the more of these videos that I would send out, and they were all automated after I got to a point. Like in the beginning, I would make you a video. Say you register on my site, Tristan. I'd send you an email like, hey, Tristan, it's Brett with the Baker team. Thanks so much for checking out my site. Just wanted to put a face with a name and let you know that I'm here to help you with your home search. If you need anything, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm always on my phone. You can text me. You can call me. I am here for you. I did that in the beginning. And then at 60 leads a day, you can't do that anymore. I tried. And then it became automated where I said, hey, I'm Brett with Baker team fast enough that they didn't hear that I didn't say their name. And so it moved on where people thought that I was making these videos for them. And I would get responses like, thank you so much for making me that video. It's so cool to see someone in the industry caring. And I'm just sitting back like, bro, that went to like 80 people today. But the point is, I started with one video like that, and then I built out additional videos because what I've learned over the years of doing stuff is that people have about a 5th grade comprehension level, especially when it comes to challenging subjects. Now, I should also tell you my majors are in aerospace engineering, space physics. I can talk math until you are blue in the face. You want to know what the actual amortization schedule of your loan is going to be? I could probably break that down for you in an algorithm. But most people don't care about that. Most people want a real relationship and someone who really understands them. That took about a year for me to realize that. And she's in the other room. That my other half taught me that because she was connecting with people that I couldn't connect with. I'm like, how are you doing that? Like, they don't understand math. And she's like, because they don't care about math. So what I tell people to do is make a series of videos. This is so easy. And you guys have tons of time because right now with COVID, everything's starting to open back up. Guys, you can make an hour a day and make 3 videos in that hour and put them in a long-term drip sequence where it's break down the real estate transaction. You want a way to start today? Great. Go through and poll all of your clients. Go through all of your clients and reach out to each one of them by the phone and say, hey, what is the most confusing thing for you about real estate today? And if they say, I really don't understand the home inspection. Cool, well, what don't you understand about the home inspection? I'm making a video basically and trying to help people understand the real estate process a little bit better. What can I do to help you? Reach out to everybody in your database. Ask every single one of them. You're at the grocery store this afternoon, ask the checker, hey, what's the most confusing thing about real estate for you? And then make a video to explain that in a simple way. That's how I would start.
I love that. All right. So what are you showing us right now, Randy, as Brett was talking here?
Oh, you're in Smart Plans.
Yeah. Just trying to give everyone a visual of what Brett is talking about, right? So if you're not familiar with Chime, what we call drip campaigns are smart plans, right? And smart plans are pretty flexible, so you can use them as drip campaigns. You can use them for automated task lists. There's a few different ways you can use them, but in this particular context, we're talking about building a long-term nurture drip campaign, right? Mm-hmm. And so when Brett's talking about sending these messages out that are containing a video, Chime has, as you can see here, 2 different ways that you can send that video, right? Whether it's a bomb recording that you've built, or if you're taking Brett's advice and you're making these 2 to 3 minute type videos about various confusing aspects of the real estate space, you should store that somewhere for the public to access it, right? Don't let it just die on the vine on your desktop. Create your own YouTube channel. And even if you don't get a lot of subscribers, it's still a place where you can keep and store this information. And it's another way that you can deliver these videos through this YouTube video, through your Chime long-term smart plan, right? So just my plan here is just to kind of walk you through a visual of what Brett was doing when he was building these long-term nurture plans. He was coming into his Chime platform that looks just like this. And to take a step back here, you can see when you come into the Smart Plans feature, we do have templates for you. So take those templates and kind of gut them and add your own verbiage, if you will. Mm-hmm. But ultimately, if you were to start from scratch, you would come in here and you can see if there's a specific date. I would say close date is probably something all of your past clients should be on, right? Don't put too many people on the Valentine's Day drip campaign. But ultimately,
well, hold on, let me go back a little bit, because you hit on something there when you were on the email section when it came down to the YouTube video. Can you scroll down there really quick? Yeah. So you see there the option to insert a YouTube video. Here it's something that we all need to look at. First of all, when you Google the most visited websites in the world, you're going to find Google is number 1 and YouTube is number 2. And it'll stay that way for a long time because Google owns YouTube. So of course they're going to lead you to a video to answer the question that you just Googled, right? So the idea behind YouTube for you as a real estate agent is to start going to Google and say, okay, Google, let's figure this out. What would the consumer search for if they were looking for a house, right? All right, let's see. I'm the consumer now. And I'm going to be like, what do I need to do when I purchase a house? Or if I'm purchasing a house for the first time, what do I do? I'm a first-time home buyer. Where do I look? What's a home inspection? How do I get pre-approved? You see, you Google that. You can do that right now as you're listening, and you'll see hundreds of responses. Pick one, hopefully maybe like a Forbes one or an Inc. magazine one, something along those lines. Pick one. Then let's say it was an inspection. Then the inspection opens up and you're like, oh, okay, got it. I know all the answers here. That's cool. I'm going to pick one and I'm going to expand it into a 3 to 5 minute video. And I'm going to do this 3 times a week. And I'm going to upload it to YouTube. And then YouTube is going to hold all the answers for me. So if any time I want to answer a question for anybody, I'm going to send them to my YouTube channel. Now you're creating the content that you can add into these videos that Brett was talking about. And Brett's saying, look, I have all of my videos on wherever he's got them on, but this is the way I'm communicating with people. I'm creating a system that I no longer have to do every freaking day. I'm building something, right? And so when you're asking yourself, what should I be building? What should I be doing? What should I be focusing on? Use Google as your best friend. And then it'll just jog your memory. It's like, oh, that's right. I'm in real estate and I have all the answers. I just needed somebody to kick me in the face to realize it.
Yep. The biggest thing that I hear is people saying, I don't have time to do this. I will tell you right now, you do have the time. If you truly do not have the time, you need to restructure your time. It is about if you took 1 hour out of your day, if instead of going out to lunch tomorrow, you sat at your desk and you ate lunch at your desk, you would have you'd be able to do at least 2 videos a day. Some of the guys, and I've gotten out of coaching actually to help more people like, basically what we're doing now, more of these webinars, more doing stuff like this, helping Chime build their platform. Chime basically brings me along sometimes to break their stuff. They launch something new and they're like, hey, try to break it. Okay. But what I will tell you is if you sat down for 1 hour and made 2 videos a day, and this is what I told all my coaching clients, if you make just 1 hour, you can build out this great database that now you can, if someone has a question, you can send them a video. Like Tristan's saying, put them all on your YouTube. Someone has a question, you can literally say, hey, you know what? I'm so glad you reached out about the home inspection process. Let's talk about that. Now, the really cool part about that is, and this gets a little bit more advanced, and since Randy's showing you smart plans and stuff like that, one of our smart plans, we actually have in there where it's going through and it's showing you the transaction. So when you hit the inspection, let's say you're under contract, you hit inspection, it's going to give them a video of like, here's what you're going to expect. You can have an interview with your home inspector. If it's a home inspector you use all the time, bring them on the video, have them talk about what they're going to be doing. So all of that, very, very easy stuff to do. You have the time to do it. You just have to commit to doing it. That's it.
Oh, I think you're muted, Tristan.
Brett's right on, guys. He's telling you exactly what you need to do. And for those of you who still don't know what the hell to do me a favor. I put a link there. It's a 6-minute video that I made last week on how to go to Google and create content from it so you can make videos. It's 6 minutes. It's long. Watch it. And do me a favor and subscribe too. But watch it.
That was the best shameless plug.
Hey, I needed to chime in, right? I'm going to use Randy's line forever now. But no, guys, it's just 6-minute video. It shows you exactly what Brett and Randy and myself are talking about in regards to creating content so you can reuse it and automate it, right? Because the last thing you want to do is what Brett said. He realized really quick when he was getting 60 leads a day, he's like, oh, damn, I can't do this for every single person. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's key. Randy, what are you showing us right here?
So something I'm showing here is just kind of lending to the capacity of Chime, just showing you that it's a very intelligent program and that it gives you the opportunity to get as personal as you can with automation, just because of these qualifying questions, right? So if you have different lead sources coming in and when they're registering, they give you different pieces of information. For example, the lead generation that we offer, one of our registration questions is this person a first-time home buyer? Well, we all know that first-time home buyers typically have more questions about the home buying process. So the type of information they need is going to be more rudimentary than someone who's buying their 3rd or 4th home, right? So if I'm creating a smart plan and I want to make sure that I'm breaking it down from the very beginning, but I'm not necessarily doing that to someone who's buying their last home ever, I can qualify these leads by triggering smart plans with one of these questions, right? So if the question is, this lead is a first-time home buyer, then I'm going to send them a different smart plan or a different step in this smart plan based off of that trigger. And you can see there's probably about 2 dozen in here, 1.5 options, just so that you can get really granular in this instance.
So I'm actually going to chime in here a bit on this for you there, Randy.
Damn it, now it's getting tiring, Brett.
Any chance. I had to find a way to bring that in. Okay, so I'm going to chime in because I've actually done quite a bit with, I've built out a significant number of smart plans and spent far too much time with this to admit on this webinar. What I will tell you is Chime uses a lot of AI, the artificial intelligence. So when Randy popped that list back up, dude, the conditional questions. So what he's showing you right now is the conditional questions, and it can actually take a person down different routes. And so in the world of smart plans, we call this tiered smart plans. And so what he's showing here is that you can do all kinds of different things with this. So on one of the smart plans that we have, we actually use Chime's AI to identify where they are in the home buying process, and it actually takes them down different paths. Now, why that's cool. Remember when I went back and said all those videos that we made?
Yeah.
There's different videos as you go down each path.
That's
so
beautiful.
It could say, like, is it a first-time home buyer? Great. They're gonna, if it's yes, which he has onto his left here, it'll auto email them, and it can auto email them a video. And the video that it's going to send them is, you know what, first-time home buying is super exciting. This is a great time and can be a confusing time. I don't want it to be confusing. I want it to be as stress-free as possible, blah, 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 blah. Now they go down that. Now it's going to go in and it's taking them down that smart plan. And let's say the next conditional thing that we have in here, do they have a property alert? That's a big one. We want people to have a property alert because what's the one thing they sign up on your website for? New property alerts.
All the time.
So we want to make sure that those are accurate. In fact, I go so crazy with this that in my initial video email to them, I actually say, I do not want to send you spam. I want to make sure you're getting the properties that are important to you and that are exactly what you're looking for. If at any time your situation changes, reach out to me. I want to make sure that these are accurate for you. Now, what's cool is if it has a property alert, it'll start working its way down now the property alert side. Do they have a property alert? Yes, cool. It's going to keep going down this way. No, great. Now it's going to remind them like, hey, maybe we should get a property alert set up for you. It makes it feel very, the way that I like to use automation, I'm going to say this a little different than I was going to. The way that I like using automation does not replace the human. It never will. It assists the human in making that path that you're creating easier to digest by both the person receiving it and the person that is guiding it, which is the agent at this point. I can look through, if I logged into our Chime site right now, I can tell you exactly where everybody is. I know that sounds kind of crazy because we have what, like 30,000 leads in there. I can tell you where everybody is because our smart plans put people into different groups. You're in the 30 days or less, great, you're over here. You're in the 60 day to the 30 to 60 day, great, I know where you are. Because I've got Chime's AI working for me, it's giving me suggestions like, hey, this person is doing something. You need to do something with this. Like seriously, it's kind of, I've got it set up now where it's basically a punch in the face, where it's like a, hey, this guy's hot and needs to do something. Do something with them.
Yes. Can I tell you, dude, that's probably the biggest difference we have with companies like Chime. We're very few, by the way. There's only two that I can think of, and one of them is Chime, where AI comes into play and then starts responding back and forth and does that job for us. People, it's normal for you to want to compare Chime to, let's say, Commissions Inc., let's say Firepoint. What's another one that we can? Oh, Command. Boomtown. And look, there are comparisons, and it's cool. But I always tell people there are massive differences that you won't even know because it's almost subtle. And two of them that come to mind where I think Chime is far superior to Command and Boomtown and Sync is, here's one. It has true AI, real artificial intelligence that goes in and starts engaging with your clients. That's number one. It's deeper than that. And number two is that there's dynamic ads for real estate. So Dare ads, where it's also artificial intelligence because it goes in and determines, who's engaging on your ads on Facebook and Instagram, and then it's dynamic, right? It changes these ads as people engage with them. That's the AI part. That goes really deep into it because when you look at the top most visited websites in the world, number 4 is Facebook, right? Google, YouTube, then some Chinese purchasing company like Amazon, and then it's Facebook. But people go to Facebook to grab their news. They're spending over 50 minutes a day on it. And the fact that we're on there with ads to people that we already know, past clients, Sphere, and all that, That's pretty deep, guys. And
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's taking advantage of DARE as much as they should be. What do you
Right.
think, Brett?
I want to answer that, and I also want to answer somebody in here about comparing stuff to different. So I have used Real Deeps, I have used Boomtown, I've used Sync, I've used Easy Agent Pro, I've used, I'm trying to think, IDX Broker. I've used basically all the ones. Firepoint. I've used them all.
Yep.
There is one company, and I'm not going to mention who because there's a lot of people on this webinar, but they've offered me 5 years free if I ever switched back. And you couldn't get me to switch out of Chime. Literally, well, maybe if your life, Tristan, if your life depended on it, I would maybe.
Thanks,
we could
Brett.
talk. Can we at least talk about it? Like,
I appreciate that.
is there a way around this? Randy, on the other hand, screw it. I'm sticking with Chime.
He's gone.
It's his haircut, damn it.
It's his haircut. Yeah. No, but seriously, the other thing is Tracy in there was asking, how's onboarding? The truth is, there's anybody, and you said you've used RealVolve. Yeah, I have used RealVolve too, and the onboarding was terrible. Chime's onboarding is great. You know, at the end of the day, they provide you training, and then we have a way to provide you with even more training after that. But the point is, it's good. It's very, very good. As far as you lost me on the other. What was your question, or where do you want me to
My
expand on?
question is DARE, dynamic ads for real estate.
Dynamic ads.
What do you
So,
think of that?
I want to pop you up something that I'm going to share my screen really fast. Turn your screen off there, Randy, so I can share. Wonder if it'll let me do this. I just had it up, but now I'm on a new computer, so this is going to be interesting. Let's see what I got here.
We'll be patient. Sounds
Thank you.
like you got something there.
I have used I use Chime's DARE ads as we speak. That's actually not one of the largest. I use a lot of them, but that's not the largest thing that I do. I'm gonna actually try to pop up for you. Let's see if it'll let me actually do this. Can you guys see the 4 prongs that I have up right now? Does that work?
No,
We see an island.
We see
Can you see my background?
What is that? Channel Islands?
Yeah. Okay. So it's not gonna let me do it from this computer. That sucks. I will
That's
stop that. I was gonna show you my 4 prongs. I have 4 prongs to my business. I've got lead generation, messenger marketing, retargeting, and follow up. And that's actually what I wanted to share with you.
Awesome.
I will find a way to get this shared so you guys can see it. But Randy, have I sent this to you?
I don't know that you have. I'd
Okay.
like to see it.
I will send it over. In fact, I will make it,
Randy.
Tristan. I'll make it shareable for you as well, Tristan, so you can share it if you want. in the
Dude,
group
I
so you
would
can
love
see it.
to. I'd love to share that into lab codes too,
Yep.
so that people can understand that process. And in regards to nurturing and creating drips, so I have a feeling that Brett and I actually function the same way. It's cool, Brett. You and I haven't done very many webinars, but I see how your brain is functioning. And so I want to take you on a little ride and show you how I process
Sure.
things. Randy, I'm going to share my screen really quick.
Okay. Yep. Please do.
Just so people can understand how to better create drips. All right. So the first thing I start with is kind of like what Brett said. He had those 4 pillars in essence, right, of where his business is really revolving around. And you've got to really think about that for yourself too. For me, it's always, as far as I can remember, from the recession that we had in 2008, that shifted everything for me to online. Before that, it was expireds, FISBOs, really, really heavy on that, and referrals from past clients. Now it's online leads and referrals from Sphere and past clients. So because of that, I gravitate to making drips for my strength, and that's online leads. So with that, when you think of that, can you guys see my screen here? 2020 touches in 20 days? Or
Yes.
no? All right, cool. I'm going to zoom in. And so I'm always making drips. Like I do this once a week. I actually have a set time where I go in and I create drips for everything, update them, make new ones, and all this good stuff. It's a hobby. It's a sick hobby like Brett has. And so what I suggest you do is first find where you get your business from. If it's past clients, awesome. If it's Sphere, get really specific as to how that looks. For me, Google and Facebook lead ads are the number one way for me. So
Yeah.
what I do is, look, I recreated, I even had this COVID-19 drips that I created 2 months ago, and I revamped them and I did them again last week. And I said, okay, let's redo them, be a little softer, maybe be a little, slightly more aggressive, but still soft. But let me outline how this would look for me and how I would think as a consumer, how I would like to be talked to, right? With emotional intelligence, social awareness, right? Understanding what's happening. And let me outline this. All right, day one, this is what it's going to look like, right? First, I outline. I don't do anything day two. Day three, simple text. Day five, and I do this it's spaced out pretty evenly, right? It's really only dripping them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days spaced out in 20. And now I go into detail. Okay, detailed outline. How does this look? 3 minutes in, they get a text. Remember, this is Google or Facebook. They're usually 8 to 9 months out at least. And so the aggressiveness has to be completely cut out. They're not Zillow or Realtor.com leads, right? I'm not paying $180, $200 a lead here. I'm paying $9.10 a lead. So 3 minutes in, hey, I'm not sure this is a good time to text, right? I'm trying to make it most genuine, real. I want to sound like it's me.
Mm-hmm.
And so the text sounds like me. So It says, hey, I'm not sure if this is a good time to text, but I just noticed that you visited my website through Facebook. This is for Facebook. Would you rather I call you? And then if nobody gets back to me, 25 minutes later, I send a nudge text. It says, sorry, I was responding to an email. I don't want to spam you with ugly homes.
I love that.
Can you tell me what you're looking for? Right?
Yeah.
And usually they respond to this one, right? That's what they respond to. It sounds real.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. No, I mean, the let me know text has worked wonders for me when I was in sales, right? You just send somebody a text in 15 minutes, they don't respond, let me know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry I didn't respond right away. You know,
Yep.
it's funny how it changes the mindset. And I'll point out, just to get into the weeds a little bit here, say you do have somebody who responds to that first text in 3 minutes. It's important that you have the functionality in your system to shut off that nudge text.
Yeah.
You can do it if you have one lead, but if you have multiple leads coming in every day, you're not going to be able to keep up with that responsibly, right? So make sure the functionality exists in your platform to shut down these engagement type campaigns so that you can then activate the next step in the process.
You'll lose clients if they responded right here and they get this right after because you just didn't have the auto shut off. You'd lose me. I'd be like, what? Oh, this is totally automated. This guy's
this is a robot. This is a robot.
Yeah. And then right here, look, 3 minutes in, they also get an email, right? Just like Brett said, but it's a video email, right? And then a call 5 minutes in if they didn't respond to this one with a dropped voicemail. Then day 3, again, day 5, giving value, right? I'm not in no way bringing in crap that people don't want to listen to. I'm giving them value. I have 3 virtual tours for you. I don't know what the hell they're looking for.
Right.
But I found these 3 homes that have amazing virtual tours. Let me know. And then I picked different price points all around what they were looking for originally.
Yep.
100,000 less, right at, and 100,000 more, right?
Yeah.
And then I have disclaimers just in case, right? And then another email, text, alternative, and then voicemail, email, and then at the end, one last try, day 20. If I haven't gotten a hold of them by this time, I'm not going to continually go. I'm just going to leave them on my drip and then auto nurture. And then I try with one last thing, which is a text that goes out at 5 p.m. It says, Randy?
Yep. I use that one all the time, man. I love that.
Dude, right? And so this is what we place into Chime, right? But it takes time, like you said, Brett. We've got to set time to create this because somebody's not going to go in and create this for us because we're all slightly different. We can use something like this as a base.
Yes.
But it can only take us so far.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to add your own character to it. And I'll say this because Brett can't say it because he'll sound bad saying it, but this is worth investing your time into. And if you don't understand how much it's worth, Brett invested his time into his business doing these types of activities and got paid almost $7 million for his business for doing it. So if you want to know how much this is worth, you can see that for Brett and his business, it was worth $7 million to invest this time.
It was worth skipping those lunches.
Yeah.
It was worth skipping lunch.
Working.
Yeah. Randy, I sent you, did you get my screenshot that I sent you that you could share real fast? Because I really want you to see. You guys wanted to see, I'm going to give you basically, this is what I built my business on. This is what Aurora, my other half, built her business on. This is the 4 prongs that we built our business on. I mean, this is it. We built lead generation, right? So Facebook, Instagram, we ran listing ads, buyer ads, and seller ads. Messenger marketing, we built our own messenger bot. We did our own listing ads, business page. We re-engaged leads with it. We converted leads with it. Retargeting. This is something that there are a lot of people that talk retargeting. There are very, very, very few people that actually know how to do it.
Yeah.
We use that for brand awareness and increasing conversion. We re-engage our site visitors with it. We re-engage our page visitors with it. We re-engage people that view any of our ads. It doesn't matter if they came in through Google PPC. It doesn't matter if they came in through Zillow. It doesn't matter where they came from. We can now get in front of them again. Finally, we have the follow-up. This is what I talked about in the very beginning when I told Tristan triaging. We triage our leads. We work the runway out. We use Chime's property drips, and we use our Facebook Messenger bot to follow up with them. And then on top of that, we've built out custom smart plans, and we use custom scripts to do all of the above. Now, the best part about this whole thing is you saw Tristan's follow-up on there. Our follow-up with our smart plans, they're 100% automated until we get to a point where we recognize that that person has raised their hand and wants help. That's it. So it's funny because on this is actually, Aurora and I actually now in our quote retirement have started a remarketing company, a retargeting company, and this is our layout for that as well. We're literally giving people what we built our business on.
I love this, dude. Did you send this to me too, so I can drool over it?
Yeah, I'll absolutely send it over to you.
Thanks.
Yeah,
I love this. This is beautiful.
And I want to point out too that if you came to this webinar thinking a genuine long-term nurture was just building a smart plan, then you're thinking too small. You can see all of these 4 prongs involve some kind of long-term nurture as well, right? So this is not just building a smart plan and saying, my long-term nurture is over. Retargeting is important. Following up is important. This messenger marketing, these dare ads, all of this is a part of your long-term nurture plan. So it's not just a smart plan. It's bigger than that.
The biggest thing that I like to tell people is you're paying $9.10 for a lead that comes in. Okay, great. That's really awesome. That's actually a really good price for a lead. Let's say you get 50 of those a day. Now you do the math on how much that costs. Now, if you actually start looking at long-term follow-up with that, how many of those are you closing? If you're only closing 1% of those, do the math on what you actually paid for that lead. And so what I like telling people is you have to stay in front of people continuously. You can either do that yourself, you can hire someone to do it for you, or you can build out a system to do it for you that just works. And what I've seen so many people do, and I have a background in entrepreneurship is like that's my background in doing it for years. The biggest thing that I like to cover when it comes to long-term nurture, if you're letting those leads fall through the cracks, you're losing so much money. So I run audits on myself. Don't run audits on yourself. I mean, do it. Drink heavily afterward. But I ran an audit on myself one time, and I saw how much money I was leaving on the table by not following up with people. And we're talking like there were lots of zeros. I was like, wow, that's a lot of jet fuel. That is a lot of avgas. That is flying's my passion. So that's a lot of things that I could be spending money on. And if you take the time to really build this out, take 1 hour out of your day, every day, 1 hour, and build this out from start to finish. If you don't have the patience to do it, if you don't want to do it, hire someone to do it for you that's done it. Don't hire someone that hasn't walked the walk or talked the talk. If they haven't been able to do this, don't hire them to do it. But if they've actually walked the walk and talked the talk and actually know how to help you do it, do it. I hired a coach from day one. Hire a coach if you need to. That's not for everybody. For some people it is. But my point is, find some way to hold yourself accountable. Have your significant other hold you accountable. Make them watch your videos. Make them do the videos with you. Whatever you have to do. Aurora hates when I make videos now. If you know, I mean, we're literally in a small hotel room right now, and she is like beelined it out of here because she knows she's gonna get roped into doing something right now.
That's so good.
So my point is, find somebody to hold you accountable. If it's an office mate, if it's a friend, if it's your lender, if it's an inspector, get someone to hold you accountable. 1 hour a day. That's all you need.
Yeah. And I would say, Brett, it could be as simple as starting with what we talked about at the very beginning, which was just outline what content you want to continually drip to your buyers and sellers, right? And then grow from there, because you saw the question that came in for you, which was how long did it take for you to build that, right? So it takes time, guys. It takes time.
It was 6 weeks, and I'm gonna chime in on this one more time. Yeah, you have to remember something. I was an active air traffic controller at the time that I was launching this. So when I tell people it took me 6 weeks to build this out, I'm going to tell you exactly how that went down. It literally was, I was sitting in an air traffic control facility. If you fly after this, I promise not everybody's this bad. But I was literally in the tower, like, Alaska 238, runway 25 right, clear to land. All right, let's build out this video campaign over here. Taking phone calls like, oh, you want to see that house tonight? Great. I mean, I did everything I could. I got no sleep. I worked my butt off to make that happen. But the truth is, I knew that the struggle and that the sacrifices I was making in the beginning, it would totally pay off in the end, because then I'd have a higher conversion rate. I would have a better idea of where everything was. And the best part is I could turn around at some point and sell it. So if you have any plans of ever walking away from the industry and actually doing something else, like going to mountain bike every day, that's what you need to do. You need to do something where you can create an exit plan. Randy knows I ramble on about this more than I'd like to admit, so I keep this kind of toned down on these webinars. But I've talked this guy's ear off in an airport about this. It's like, come up with something, create a systematic approach. Randy's girlfriend just got her license. She might actually be watching this. So I'm giving this advice to her too. Start in the beginning. Even if you've been doing this for 30 years, today is a new day for you. You're going to start today. Start building things out.
I love it.
Boy. Well,
I love it, man. So Randy, Brett, anything in closing? I mean, we didn't even talk about the price for Chime, but do you guys want to talk about that? I know I already feel like we need a part 2 to this, Brett.
We should do a part 2. We do this weekly if you want. Hey, for now, I still live right down the way
Aurora
from
would
you.
love that. Yeah, Aurora would love you doing that.
We just have to do this out of the house. Like, let's go on the sailboat, do one of these. Let's hang out. Like, this is way easier. What do I want to say in closing? I think we have all, over the last 2 months, we've all seen the industry change a little bit. But the funny part is, because it only changed, it changed a little bit over the last 2 months, to us, because it was in such a short time span, it seems like there was a lot of change happening really quickly. Guys, the market, the industry, all of this changes every day. And it's been changing since I was, 4 years old, walking around in diapers, watching my dad be in real estate. It's changed so much in that amount of time. It's changed in the last 5 years so much. And so the only thing that I can tell you is the video is the way of the future. Actually taking the time to build out a video drip campaign for someone, it seems like this giant thing that's going to take forever to do. Guys, it's like eating an elephant. You do it one bite at a time. You don't have to come in and have the grand master plan. What you do need to do is you need to take each day one step at a time and have a systematic approach to what you're trying to do. I want to educate people on how the real estate industry or how the real estate process works. I want to take this on a 5th grade level and I want to build it out so everybody understands it. Okay, great. Where do we start? Well, we start at the very, very, very beginning. They landed on your website. They're looking at properties. Start with that. Property searching. Now we move into pre-qualification. Then we move into blah, blah, blah. You start working your way through it. Start small, 2 to 3 minute videos. Don't need to be great. Here's the best part. And I get emails daily about this. Look around me right now. I'm in a small hotel room. Lighting is terrible. It doesn't matter. Tristan's lighting is phenomenal. He probably has a great lighting setup. Tristan's videos, when he makes his videos, they're going to be just as informational as my videos. And it's going to, his area looks really real. I've seen a lot of the ones, they'll stand in front of a green screen, have a fake background. Don't do that. Be as real as you can be, because we've built this, we've got this great idea in our head that the more professional something looks, the better it's going to be, when in reality, the more realistic something looks. You want it to make it look like you sat down right now and you made a video for someone. That's the goal you're trying to achieve, not perfection. 70%.
Tristan, do you still do those videos from your car? Tristan, you remember that? I remember you getting a hard time for doing videos in your car, and people said you shouldn't do it while you're driving.
Were you driving?
Somebody thought I was driving. So I was like, I'm not driving. My wife's driving.
Right. I get the same thing.
Like, no, I'm not driving. I have 2 hands in the air.
Right.
Somebody was like, put your hands back on the steering wheel. I'm like, I'm not driving.
Dude, I'm in the passenger seat. Look over there.
Crazy.
That's it. I mean, really, long-term nurture, have a system. And the system, when I say have a system, have a program that you can put all of this in one place and have it be an evergreen system. So meaning, like Chime's drips, for example, if you build it all out in Chime, it's evergreen. New lead comes in, boom, they start at the beginning. You could have 25,000 other leads halfway through the process, but when a new registration comes in, they start at the beginning and they work their way through. Once you do it one time, you only have to build it out once. And then all you have to do is just basic maintenance on it. Like, let's say, for example, something changes in your area. Yeah, you're gonna have to change it a little bit. You change one video, but you've already built all the stuff out. So that's my 2 cents.
I love it, man. I love it. Let me get that out of the way. There's a few questions on pricing, Randy, and where do people sign up? I don't even know if we put up a link.
Yeah, so ultimately, if you go to Chime's website, you'll see our pricing, but you're not going to see the LCA discount in there.
Where do we get all that good stuff?
Say what?
Where do we get all that good stuff?
So to get all that good stuff, I put it in the chat once, but I'm going to put it in the chat again. Email this individual, Andrew Wardle. There we go. Tristan just posted. You can email that individual or fill out that link there, and you're going to get the special LCA discount. So don't sign up for Chime unless you go through that link.
All right, let me let them. All right, everybody listening in, remember to mention LCA. You do get a discount. I put the link in the chat box. And if you have questions for Brett, how do people get a hold of you, my friend?
Easiest way is they can email me. That always works really, really well.
Can you put your email in the chat there? And then obviously if you need to get a hold of Randy, you can get a hold of him through the link on Chime, or just reach out to me. We're all 3 users of Chime. Randy is forced to use Chime because he works there. But Brett and I choose to use Chime.
I work there on my own free will, though. I want to work there.
I know. I remember the switch. I remember.
Don't we all? Randy and I did an event the day after he got hired, and I did nothing but give him the hardest time when he switched over to Chime. I was giving him such a hard time.
That's so funny.
It was 3 days after I switched.
I'm sorry, 3 days after.
I love it. Well, Brett, let's come back and do a part 2 to this, but I think really do a deeper dive into creating the right systems to be able to sustain the nurtures that you've put in place. So more talking about the prongs, right? Yeah. And then how Chime has really fit into them and how they've helped you to do that.
Not a problem.
Randy, you good with that? Awesome, everybody. Thanks so much. This is recorded. It'll be on our YouTube channel for Lab Coat Agents. And then just subscribe, click the little bell so you get the email when it's done. Brett, have fun in Colorado.
Thank you.
Randy, have fun in Atlanta. And thank you, everybody else, for joining us.
Take
Thanks,
care,
everybody.
guys.
Y'all take it easy.